Okay, in this video, let's try link aggregation. So I'm gonna try like this topology to aggregate 4 2.5 gig links and between two of the XikeStor switches. I have 3 of their switches, but the third one is a 10 gig only switch, so obviously I can't do that. So I'm gonna do this between the upper one is the SKS 3200 4E2X, and the lower one is also SKS 3200 but 8E2X. Yeah, the names are so long. I don't know why. It's just their way to name stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna connect 4 Ethernet cable. I already connected, obviously. And also the upper one is going to connect with a 10 gig link to my local network, and then the 8E2X on port 10 is going to connect to one of the VMs which has a pass-through link. I think I demonstrated in the previous video. And that's the basic topology. I think just you have an idea. And here is the 4E2X. And if we go to the port aggregate, sometimes the English translation is a little bit weird, but yeah. And also it called trunk 1 and trunk 2. That's not very right. It should, at least say team 1 or bond 1 or aggregate 1, but it is what it is. Basically, it supports 2 aggregation groups, and it called trunk. It's definitely not the VLAN trunk. Okay, so if you want to configure it, just go ahead and trunk 1 and LACP. Personally, I don't like static. I think LACP is more dynamic. It can root out some of the errors if it happens. So I just do LACP, which is the link aggregation control protocol. I think the C may be control. Anyway, that's the protocol they support, and then support the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then save, and this will show up. Okay, and if the aggregated link established, you will see this part, the aggregated port, and it will show whatever port here. If it doesn't work, it will show either nothing or it will show the port that actually worked. So this is the 4E2X, and on the 8E2X, let me see if I can refresh. Yeah, the cookie expired. I'm not sure why the cookie is so short. Yeah, I don't even set the password. It's just admin. And then go to link aggregation. On this part, it's actually super easy. You just choose the LACP. The lag is actually static, and if you put it in static, which is actually means no link aggregation. So LAG is just static, but obviously the other side is link aggregation protocol, and we're gonna just do LACP. And the timeout usually doesn't matter. Short or long, and the default group is default to 0, and yeah, unless you have like multiple link aggregation groups, it's just 0 is fine. I'm lazy, and yeah, that's already my configuration, and all of the links are up. It's similar to the 4E2X. It will only show as link up if the aggregation is established. Too bad it doesn't show more information, like on, for example, RouterOS. It will show as like distributing, like that's kind of all of the flags of link aggregation protocol, right? But yeah, it doesn't. But you get the jobs done, so it's fine. All right, it's already aggregated. Let's take a look. Yeah, how it works. So this will be this machine. So I'm gonna try to do iperf to the to also VM on this LAN, and I'm gonna do. Let's try to do single thread single thread speed test, and we get 2.5. So does the link aggregation even work? Let's try 2. Now we get the speed in total around 4. Well, now it's a little bit better. Like, at least we can see the links actually aggregated. And when we do 2 threads, it basically aggregated into with 2 ports, right? So what if we do 3 threads? Why does it still show at a speed around 2? I'm gonna explain that for sure. But let's do more. Like, how about 4? Yeah, still 2. Yeah, it's a little bit unpredictable. Yeah, with 5 threads, now we see some speed. For sure, is a result of 3 links, right? And what if we want more? Let's just make it 15. And 8 point something, and 7.9, even 7.9 for sure. That's the result of all 4 links aggregated and working together. So why? Why if we do only 1 thread, it just doesn't give us all of the bandwidth together, right? We have 4 of the 2.5s. It should give us, at least more than 1 link. Well, that's how the link aggregation protocol works, or most of the link aggregation works. So it doesn't really automatically magically put all of the 4 ports into one. What happens is when one of the connection, so actually we can see this here. Let's scroll up a little bit. And we see the IP address and then the port. So what happens is when a connection sent to the switch will actually hush it. So it depends on the mode. It has the layer 2 mode, layer 3 mode, and layer 4 mode. Too bad both of the switches, they don't really have the kind of configuration that you can pick. But if not, usually they run on layer 4 mode, which means it will hush the MAC address, the IP address, and also the port number. So it will hush it and then pretty much just divide by 4 or mod by 4. And if the result is 0 or 1, computer stuff start with 0. So if it's 0, it goes to the member port of 1 or member port of 0. And if the result after the mod, the remainder, right, mod calculation, remainder, if the remainder is a different number, it goes to a different link. So that's how it works. So basically, if somehow you have only a single thread kind of connection, it will never take advantage of all of the links aggregated, no matter how many links you aggregate together in the default link aggregation protocol mode. The reason why I'm saying this is because some of the other switches, for example, because I make a lot of RoutOS videos in Chinese in my Chinese channel. So, for example, RoutOS support other modes. Like one of the modes is round robin, which means it basically sends all of the data in round robin mode. So basically send data to port 1, then port 2, port 3, port 4. Okay, that's evenly distributed, but it doesn't mean it's perfect because it will cause like some of the packets arrive early and some of the packets arrive late if, let's say, if the cables has different length, or if by any chance if the port got processed in different timings. So it's not perfect. But as for the default link aggregation, LACP, that's how it works. And why when I did the 3, right? If I do 3, well, this time it takes advantage of 3 ports, obviously, right? But not every time. It's because, again, the port here is random. So it is very possible that 2 or even all 3 of them, after the hash, after the calculation, and they have the same remainder, and they will actually go to the same port, all 3 connections. And if that happens, we will only have 2.5 gig of bandwidth in total. But obviously, it's just by chance. And if we do 3 again, this time, obviously, somehow it takes only two of the ports. It's because, again, after the calculation, because the actual calculation, I'm not really sure the result. So that's why I'm not sure about that part. But what I'm sure is, if you really want to take advantage of the link aggregation, it needs to be multiple connections. So that's why usually the link aggregation works better on servers, and especially if you have a lot of clients connect to the server. So each of the clients, they will have a different IP, which will increase the chance that they will get distributed into different ports. So yeah, that's pretty much how it works. And obviously for the 2 XikeStor switches, they work, and they work decently. I know I'm not getting anywhere near the full 10 gig bandwidth, no matter how many connections I put there. Yeah, 8 point something. I'm not sure. Maybe it's because the AOC cable I use, because one of them is a really old AOC cable, or it's because just the kind of cost it happens when we do link aggregation. But still, 8 point something, that's definitely a result of 4 links, 4 of the 2.5 gigs aggregated together. So if you have that kind of that kind of need, for example, if you have a server that has 2 of the 2.5 gig ports, but not 10 gig ports, then you can aggregate the 2 of them and get better bandwidth, especially when you have a lot of clients access at the same time. And for the most common home scenario, like for example, if you access your Samba server, you will need to make sure that you have at least Samba. When I say Samba, it's just the SMB file protocol, or the Windows Share CIFS, right? Something like that. So if you use that, you need to make sure you have Samba 3, minimum version 3, with the multi-channel, I think it's called a multi-channel or multi-stream enabled. Otherwise, it will only go to, it's only going to use one of the ports instead of all of the ports in the same aggregation group. So yeah, I think that's it for this video. Thank you for watching.